very good to see you all this morning. First of all, I thank our Almighty God for blessing us this very blessed morning, to discuss, to talk, and to share the very important topic, on this men's mental health. I, being the chairperson of Nagaland State Women Commission, spearheading the Naga women, some might be wondering, a woman who is representing a woman standing on the pulpit speaking on men's health. You may be wondering also, but this is something which it's need of the hour that we have to discuss about, the mental health of all the gender, not only the women and the men. At the very outset, I'm obliged and very blessed to be a part of this very event, and also to share a keynote address in this August House. And also I would like to thanks to the organizer, Lapierre Center for Mental Wellbeing in collaboration with Protocols Homes and Department of Psychology, Tetso College, for inviting me to speak and to share a keynote on this mental health. I may not be, or I am not very conversant, or not I don't possess any PhD in this specific topic, men's mental health. However, I'm privileged, very, very privileged to stand here today and share a few words passing on this very instant topic, that is mental health. Everyone, even today I can see students here, some of the students, not many, I don't see many crowd here, but I see, the participants from every walks of the life. We have students, we have from the police, we have from the NGOs, even though one or two is representing from all the organization, from every organization or every sector of life. I think it's very important that we should understand what is mental health. When we say mental health, it sounds very common, yet the most ignorant thing and ignorant topic in our society. We ignore when we say mental health. Okay, for most, to be understandable, and to make it more easy to converse, I will put Nagamis also in between. When we say mental health, ignore. I have come across Women Commission. We usually used to visit police station, jails, police stations. We met different kind of sectors of women victims. We came across that this mental health is a topic which are being ignored and denied by our society. Mental instead of going in search of a professional counselor or treatment or this or that, we feel like this is something we always ignore that way. We should not do that. When we come to specifically to men, I would like to say that we talk a lot on the importance of as of now, what I feel is that Mikey laga mental health la koi gina aishe, and now I feel like men also also should come out, mental health to both the genders, Mikey hobby, mota hobby, pacha hobby, tangor hobby, सब की mental health laga itu wellness to be important se. When we say mental health, it's about how people think, how people feel and how people behave. Nija ke mental problem ase nija na jane wo pare. Amni laga sati kha nija laga family members khan mental problem tha man na jane wo pare. Be, if you know that you are disturbed, like napungjak that it proves that you are not mentally fit. When we look into the statistics of men's mental health, the National Institute of Mental Health trusted sources says mental health conditions are more common among women than men. But this is because men aren't opening up and reaching out. And while 51.7% of women with a mental health condition received support from mental health services, only 40% of men with a mental health condition did received. I feel like like at this hour, it is important, very, very important to talk about mental health, because mental health conditions don't discriminate, because people of all genders, people of all genders experience anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues and conditions. But I would also say they may look different in men. Manugi depend gray. Much research has also found that men are less likely to access mental health support when they really, really need it. Why? Because of gender stereotypes and stigmas, which also may be one factor which makes it harder for men and their healthcare professionals to recognize when they need mental health support. That is why I personally would like to say that it's very important to raise awareness about men's mental health. I hope all men will agree that, all participants here will agree that men is a part of our life. Men is important in our life. Without men, we women, the daughters, the sons, the children are incomplete. Dunia ke mahan de mota na thagile maiken mahan ekla barabi eku kam do na paribo do. Hoina nohoy. Aro maiki bacha khan mahan barabi papa na thagile do mota na thagile mahan barabi eku na paribo do. Papa thagile do hi mota thagile do hi dunia do. God has created only two genders. One is male and the female. So the man is very important. So it's very important that we should discuss about the mental wellness as well.
Males who will have some mental problems? No. It will be as leaders and as members of the society that you are sitting here. And I was thinking, what credibility I have to speak in such a program. Perhaps only thing that I have is, I also have been in this society for about 10 years now. And I distinctly remember what I felt when I came to Nagaland, my initial days. And the thought that came to my mind again and again was this: what a dignified people. And if there is one madness in this world, which is more than any other thing, is the madness of hierarchy, which kills the dignity. It is not here. There are no kings, and if I am speaking to my constable or an officer, he is his own man, very dignified. He knows where he stands. In the larger scheme of things of the world, he is very clear about all those things. And this is the biggest bulwark, I think, that is there against all our problems in Nagaland. But which is, I would say, under serious threat. I was in FEC for my first year. I would say reasonably very strong when it comes to its communitarian assets, which is a case for most of the other districts, perhaps than Dimapur. And then I came to Dimapur and I was here for 3 years. And I realized that things are very, very different in Dimapur. And I remember going to Aizawl a few years back and realizing that 80% of the Mizoram population is already in Aizawl. The same thing is happening here. There's a big, huge change is coming. So I'll come to that a bit later. When it comes to men's mental health, is there actually a problem? Is there anything striking out there, especially in the recent years? It is there. You just look at the performance of boys in schools. I was reading an article in The Economist a few months back, and I thought it is something confined to Nagaland or the state I am from, which is Kerala. But the Economist article says the world over, boys are not performing. And the issue has become so prevalent that some of the governments, after due consultations, are thinking about giving admission to boys after 1 year after the girls are admitted. The girls will start at the age of 5 and the boys will start at the age of 6 in an effort to kind of help them perform. So there is a profound issue. And I was asking my colleague who is a psychiatrist, what's the issue? Then he was telling me, see, men are different. We can say men or women are equal, and in a profound sense they are equal, but as biological beings, if you look at the body, they are different. Male, by virtue of the hormones he possesses and some other physiological features, is rather aggressive. That is there, which can be tamed, which can be channeled in positive ways. But he is probably facing some crisis because of large scale changes out there. And one of them is the introduction of cyberspace. And they are into gaming, they are into like games like shooting where they can virtually shoot a lot of targets and so many things like that. So men, or rather the male gender, is facing some kind of a crisis which we should admit and which we should look into that. And in the case of Nagaland, I am still inclined to feel that we are rather well off, and it will continue to be like that in the many years to come. But if we look at the scenario that is out there unfolding in Dimapur, there are many things to be worried about. Dr. Asangla was speaking about what happens when you are in a network, what happens when you are in a strong peer group. Mind you, all those things have been taken care of, what I would say, in the profound civilization that was there in the Patkai Hills and beyond for the last 3 centuries or 4 centuries or more. Mind you, it's a very, very evolved set of norms and settled civilization where this thing is being taken care of rather very well. It is there in the ways in which a male or a female is being shaped, socialized. He comes out with a lot of dignity. He comes out with a lot of stability. And I remember when I was in Dimapur, when I was a probationer, I was thinking, where are the youth? Where are the youth unrest? Which is there in all the states, especially when I am coming from Kerala, a lot of youth unrest is there, generation gap. Then I realized that there is no generation gap. And I dare repeat that there is hardly any generation gap in Nagaland. See, the conflicts arise out of so many things, the men-women relations, the elder-younger relations. And when it comes to the intergenerational relations, Nagaland is a fantastic model. I don't know, it may be, and I feel that I was discussing with Father Chaco when I was here. He was also telling me, the way the children are taken care is very, very different, especially both of us are from Kerala. The way we look at children and the way the Nagas look at children, it is fundamentally different and very positively so. They are given due attention. And that gives them a lot of, positive ego, which is required to a substantial degree. Then it is, the oddities or angularities are cut off also. And it is properly shaped into a... See, the most beautiful thing is what? It's a properly socialized human beings, the dignified human being. That is there in plenty. But all these processes go for a toss when somebody is in the market.
Good morning, everyone. Respect the chairperson and the guest of honor and the faculties of Tetso College and the speakers and the police officials, the students. It is a great privilege to be a part of this program and as we are, spreading awareness regarding the men's mental health today, it is a great privilege to be here as a resource person. As today we are, seeking awareness on the men's mental health, let me first talk about how this men's mental health, why this awareness came into being and who recognized it. So in the year 2006, it was said that there was a foundation called the Movember Foundation who recognized that there were so many suicides happening in men and there were very less cases of depression and anxiety. Like depression and anxiety were more seen in female, but suicide were more in male. So that brought to the picture that men's mental health also matters and it is important to be discussed and to spread awareness on it, right? So because of that, from the year 2006, it has been celebrated every year to create awareness on how important men's mental health is. So here in the slide, we can see a picture. You all must be knowing this prominent figure here. So he is Robin Williams. He was a very renowned actor, and he has acted in so many movies like Jumanji. You must have seen those movies, Mrs. Doubtfire, and then Good Will Hunting, which was also nominated for the Academy Awards, right? But as we see the quotation that he has given, right, in the slide, all it takes is a beautiful fake smile to hide an injured soul, and they will never know how broken you are, right? So as we have seen in the role play, we saw that the father who was into addiction, right, he showed some symptoms of depression which there was no awareness about. So eventually that one thing led to another. He was neglected by his family members, right? No one recognized that he was facing some issues, right? So eventually he became alone. He was self-isolated. We could see some features of depression in that patient, right? In that person, in that male, right? But it is often said ki as our society, right? We have a society which doesn't let the men show emotions, right? Because we are said ki males should be strong, males should be tough, right? They should be self-reliant, right? Because of that, they put a fake smile. He has also proclaimed in his quotation, he also was suffering from depression. He also was struggling with addiction, right? And eventually he succumbed to suicide in the year 2014. That was what was seen, right? So even he, a prominent feature, was struggling with depression, was struggling with addiction, right? So going to the next slide, the statistics part. So when we see in the year 2015 to 16, the National Mental Health Survey was done, where the prevalence of any kind of mental disorder in adults were seen to be 10.6%, right? So this includes the mood disorders, that is the bipolar affective disorder, and depression, right? And then the anxiety disorders and the substance use disorders that are usually seen in male, right? So depression and anxiety are one of the most common mental disorders that are seen in male, and it is approximately 2.7% in adult male. That is what we can see. And as we can see, suicide rates among men in India are notably higher compared to men. That is in the ratio of 2:1, right? And it is estimated that approximately 24.5% of suicide deaths globally occur in India. That is 16.5% per 1 lakh population, which makes it a significant public health concern, right? But why are we not speaking about it? What is the main issue? Like, why depression and anxiety are more prevalent, are said to be more prevalent in women, but it is seen it is also very common in men. But because they don't speak about it, right? Because they don't express their emotions, we don't have a complete data about it, right? So in the next slide, next slide please. Yeah. So why does it happen? Why do men not speak about it? So we can see the three things that doesn't let men speak about their own mental health, right? Mental health issues. So the first that we see is the toxic masculinity, right? So when we talk about toxic masculinity, we see that our society expects men to be tough, stoic, right? And then self-reliant. You have to deal with your own problems. You cannot express your emotions. You cannot cry in front of other people, right? Or else you'll be, labeled as a weak person. You will be labeled as crazy. People will start isolating you, right? So all this self-stigma, the stigma towards mental health, all contributes towards men not voicing out their emotions, right? So in the next slide, again, we see, as I've explained earlier, the man also has a pressure to provide, right? As male, he is supposed to be the head of the family, right? So eventually they have a pressure to provide. They have to provide for the family members, as we have seen in the role play also, that you are a male, you are the eldest, you need to, start earning, you need to gain some stability in your life. So these are the expectations, these are the pressures of life that male, especially male, face in our society. And to achieve success, for achievement, to achieve success, and they are expected to professionally excel so that they can, serve the society, they can serve the family. So all these things contribute to increase in disorders in mental health in men. Next, we have stigma, right? So when we go to stigma, we always feel like males seeking help is a sign of weakness. So they shun from seeking help from the people, from the society, from their friends, from the families. They usually keep quiet about it. They don't speak about it. And next, the fear of judgment. As we say, key means they have a fear of being judged by their peers, their colleagues, right? And then especially because of less awareness in our society, what mental health usually presents as, right? So we don't have we are not aware of how mental health can present in male and in the normal population. The next slide. So when we see, because of this stigma, male are usually, subjective to all kinds of titles, like seeking professional help means you are crazy, right? And then male usually think, if I share my problems to my friends, my family, I am the head of the family, I should be self-reliant on myself, so I can't be burdening my family members, so I need to keep quiet about my issues, right? And then next, as we know, we, the Naga society, we don't have awareness about mental health. Of course, nowadays it's coming up, right? But especially in the interior areas, we don't have awareness about mental health. So talking about that, whenever some people are acting differently, they either go to prayer centers, right? Or else they say he or she has been, demon possessed, right? That is what lack of awareness does, right?
Directly to the point. It has been since 2012 that I've been in ministry. 2012 tebra moi to pastor ministry te join kurse. Aro itu piche to kwa nishna apni khan bi jane kitya mukhan pastor ministry te join hoy, kitya mukhan ministry te join he. Mukhan la expectation bishi thake. Man khan mukhan ke ki kro lagi, ki na kro lagi itu kan sab set kude. Moi basketball bis khele aro chuli lamba rakha bis bal lagi de patkai te thaka tam de. Aro moi inga bhabche de piche de to kitya chuli lamba rakhi de are itu to ministry kam gora so ki sapro chuli lamba rakhi ase na te upai na aro khati bol lagi jaise. Mola sathi ekta to osuku portion kurge na light na lo kani shades kala lagabi. Tade are pastor hoige na ki sapra shades kala lagai. Itu to pishi hisap na thakala so to na physical pain itu ailment itu kan bi itu bi kwa nishna man khan kani statement bunabol ulai je kitya mukhan ministry thake tade man khan ra ki kro lagi ki na kro lagi bishi standard state ko digen tade mukhan pastor khan gandu kwa nishna ki problem thakle bi smile kro lagi na ar gussa uti chukla are ki pastor bi gussa uthi ne ki na oli bi ki misha ko mukhan sa mano ase gussa tut lagibo oli moi kwa nishna mukhan ministry te thaga to manu hoy ke na serve kra se oli tade man khan pra standard set kur ke na rakha tade tade bishi bahar de to man khan to aya man bhal de thanda se de goli bi deep down na mukhan na monti struggle thaga fight thaga to it was very real since the time I started my ministry aro itui noi ale bacha te brabi mukhan mota mukhan dada charjon thakse to mota khan to mukhan to ki ho na sab monte rakhibo lage aro age de bishi koi dise na ki ho lage kin ho lage aro kotha bishi ko abi e maki nisna kotha koi na muka to monte bro lage kotha kolbi na parala situation na to to inga kuradang de kwanisna iso moram pra kam to bhalbo kuru partakshi ministry bal dakshi olebi kwanisna deep down I was not very happy with my mental well-being. So itu karni moi to 2000 after so many years of ministry moi 2019 tebra no, I will pursue my further studies, but I would not do my PhD in my MTH Old Testament, but I decided to pursue my secular studies, MSc Psychology Counseling, after 12 years of my bachelor degree. It was like breaking the stereotype, because for me, I wanted to seek what I desire. Moila monti ki lagi itu bisaru bola itu hi moi laki taka kani itu kani moi 2019 tebra moila MSc Psychology Counseling pursue kiana ahap chiti. I got to really understand how I should stand and work as a professional individual and also be happy. Nah, vent out. How I need to vent out. Nah, manbra ki koile bi it be important as standard to thaiko lage. Nah, apni khan bi uniform service noile bi ki hole bi apni khan profession de ki hole apni khan standard eta thakibo. Itu to maintain kor lage hole bi again as important as it is your self-care, self-love. So much has been said. Na koi jabo elibi kwanisna tate mukha nijor kani care kor lage itu bishi moi tate ber shiki na. I feel that after my secular studies I'm able to enjoy my ministry much more. Since 2020 I've been in Telekha Church and I'm enjoying much more, and I think that has really helped me to grow as a person, as a pastor. And also in these few years I've also gone through a lot of physical ailment. 2 saal itu continuous suko operation kurkin ayase. Now see, had I not taken care of my mental well-being, spiritual well-being, which all of it are very equally important, moi ko ado itu nisa situation te bishi dikdar hol takshe. But as important as our physical health is, our spiritual health is, so is our mental well-being. And I think this has really helped me to grow as a professional individual, as a pastor. So that's what I want to encourage. And at the end, I would like to say, like, मोखन अलग मन पर की कोई आज की दुकान सिदा सोसाइटी पर की स्टैंडर्ड होगी होली भी आपने मून ते पर आपने पर ईश्वर जंजे शुगले 2 Timothy 1:7 पर तो God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of the spirit of power and of love and of what, self-control or sound mind. ना कौन इसे दुकान ईश्वर जाने के ना ईश्वर जाना मान खातु की बाल से कि अपनी गानी ठीक आसे इतु भी जाने के ना ताते पर अपना लाइफ तो ताते blessing हो के नहीं इतु experience share कर से. Thank you so much for this time.
I feel like it is a very much need of an hour. We already celebrated women's mental health workshop, Women's Day. Every time we talk about only women, and I think today also State Women Commissioner already it's a time for acceptance that men's also need a mental health workshop, and I felt it's a need of an hour to talk because, as they have already mentioned, why suicide rate is very high, why there are so many problems among the men, why women live longer than men. All these things are also the issues that we need to talk. And starting from these slides, when a man heals himself, he can heal his son, his brother, his father, his family, and his co-workers and his society. So, March, the Women's Mental Health Rhythm Day, there was so many pressure that, we should also celebrate the Men's Mental Health program. Next slides, please. And I felt like I already mentioned, when we see about the social being, Sir has already said, why mental health is very important. First of all, Manu, as a human, we come as a physical being, yes or no? But mostly I felt like men kanto society, social quotient is important dina emotional level, intelligent level to intelligent pi ase holi bi emotional level to bishi neglect kuri dia na ki koina ito hierarchy la hisab te pra jaise kole bishi bal ho koina mo ito hierarchy first line din thake se physical quotient mokhanna ambala pette pra hedam te the first physical la hedo, secondly intelligent by age 1, 2 inka the intelligent to develop rena, emotional to by 3, 4, 5 inka the emotional na kinga kurikena manukia social being to by teen age, early age to ini kipa ho jay. Holi be social cohesion to aste mukhan teenage hoy kana social life becomes very important, our friendship circle become very important, inga kuri kana mukhala spiritual hierarchy to inga hutai to balance kuri thakibo lage. First, men's mental health matters koile kile koile every problem start from stress. Every problem start from stress. Sir, ma'am Khanbra already koi dishe our resource person has like very resourceful, like palpra details pra koi dishe itu khala program korise kole olap time lo na palpra to korile bi bala soile bi. First of all, every stress is not bad. Without stress, there will be no officers, there will be no resource person, there will be no leader. Yes or no? Every time we can stress asikole, we always assume in negative, something very negative. We can to stress to aya itula situation, a modern world to everything is so bad, negative. If we assume everything negative, in fact, the turnout consequences to negative of what I say, it's all about the thoughts, na. Stress response is also good for our health, for our survival. It makes us who we are. Resilience skills can be pal kuri dia, be strong kuri dia. Modern lifestyle pra technology age hoise be stress be unknowingly. Mokan to apni stress ase kole no I'm not stressed inga koi hole be kusa to we all have stress in one way or other way. But how it affects us? Yes. Chronic stress kinga hoina chronic stress hoina mukhala well-being, especially mota khan mo itu pisha mukhan ke stress kuri diwole mon ase. Prolonged stress leads to anxiety, depression, behavioral problems, and most importantly, substance abuse. Like already konishna, substance abuse coping mechanism. Bisha pra mota khan all of kusa hile pi all of tension hile pi stress. Idu substance abuse can be alcohol, drugs, tobacco khan pra start hoye. To teenage te pra school students khan pra inga start kuri kana negative coping mechanism idu khan start hoye na. Behavioral problem khan bisha hoye na stress high level hoye kole ki hoye kole. Especially itu cortisol level koi na thik kitni la upor dese itu la stress level bishi high hoise kole manu khan bishi na jine health khan bishi mosto hoi jay, especially pet khan dangor hoi jay, belly fat khan bishi dangor hoi jay na itu to bishi high stress hormones itu stress itu balance probably na pare inte stress release stress management thik na hoi pra be itu cortisol level bishi high hoise kole bishi overweight kuri de either the person becomes like obesity nohole pi bishi patla bi hoi ja hole pi itu bi main reason. And also if you see men in our society mukhan to genetic to naga man khan to bishi by race we are so gifted when it comes to looks, when it comes to physical features. Hole pi ajikali to 30s 40s kan sob sabi de mosto na pet dangor khani bishi hoishen hoy. I'm not accusing you any of you, okay, but this is true, okay. See, this is stress also can, I'm not saying that everything is because of stress, but stress is also one of the contributing factor why we become very obesity. Kila pet dangor hoi jay kole itu biasa kilo kole. Suppose if a person start drinking alcohol so much like beer and all, itu the stress level bishi, itu cortisol level bishi high kuri diyo kushe. Itu then when our cortisol level is very high, immune system pi bishi poor ho jay. Itu then kunba khan to bishi bimar, all of hawa panya hile pi jaldi bimar, fever khan bishi ho jay, matha bishi bikai jay. Nohole pi serotonin, there are so many happy chemicals in the brain na. To iman stress ho kena substance abuse kan kiba ho jay shokole substance kan dependent ho shokole alag chemicals kan to bishi low kuri di kena itu kan bishi decline kuri di na itu bi koi di ase.